Okay, I'm going to make this quick because I have a lot to cover. And so I know I'm not in presentation mode, but it's easier for me like this. So the title of my presentation is Institution and Ordinances, or Sola Fide and Sola Scriptura. So the reason why it's about this is because I am going to talk about Unit 2, the first vision, doctrinal message of the first vision, the creeds, Christianity, and prayer. Um, Mormonism isn't in a vacuum. It has a bunch of different influences. And basically, I have said that this is a supportive doctrine, at least, what comes out of the first vision, because what we have in the first vision are one, I believe, at least from my study, a return to ritual ordinances, very similar to Catholicism, and two, the development of our own Godhead, which Christianity already went through 2,000 years before. Right. So I'll jump right into it. So I've seen in my research that Joseph Smith is very confused about Protestantism. That's about sola fide and sola scriptura, that he ends up going to a more ritual idea, something I've said already, which I find very interesting, right? And then from the first vision, we get some really, really weird ideas of who exactly God is, and we're trying to figure it out in early Mormonism, and that's where we get Adam God theory that influences a lot of things that even we do today still. Okay, so jump into the first vision. Talking about ordinances and the ritual ordinances, DNC, therefore, in the ordinances there, the power of godliness is manifest. So we're very, very ordinance focused. Like I said, it sounds very, very Catholic. And then the second quote from DNC, fear not little children, for you are mine. Now, we believe it's Christ talking in verse 43, and the Father and I are one, the Father and me, and inasmuch you receive me, you and the Father in one, right? And so we kind of got this confusing idea when we get rid of our modern lens of who exactly God is, who's Jesus Christ, right? And then the third citation, Adam is the Ancient of Days, the Father of all. And that's a weird one too, because Daniel chapter 7 has the Son of Man bringing the kingdom to the Ancient of Days, which we assume is God the Father. But after this revelation, we have well, Adam might be God the Father because Adam's the Ancient of Days, right? So we have some weird stuff going on. Talking about the Joseph Smith papers. Well, quote from Joseph Smith, right? And Joseph and Jacob and Isaac and Abraham by fathers whom the promise remain, also Michael or Adam, the father of all, the prince of all, the ancient of days. So right there, he's saying it too. And so early Mormonism is extremely confused on who exactly God is in this new ritualistic religion that they have. Like, we don't really know. Is it Adam? Is Adam the father of all? Is it God the Father? Is Jesus Christ? And there's plenty more to talk about that, but that's not the scope of this presentation. So basically, the key concepts that I stated at the beginning, in an attempt to find the balance between Protestantism, which Joseph Smith was very confused about, he actually returned to a little bit more of Catholicism, ordinance-based Orthodoxism, or we'll call that orthodoxy. I'm just dumb. And we have a good amalgam of that, I believe, in the modern Mormon religion. The second is that the identification of God is something that's always plagued, I'll use the word, humans. We're always trying to figure out. I think about the Athanasian Creed, the Apostles' Creed, the Nicene Creed. And then we think about our own creed that came out in 1916, delineating who's Elohim and who's Jehovah, because before that, everyone was extremely confused. But basically, my key takeaway is that God reveals his knowledge to his people. Like President Nelson said, good revelation is based on good information. So the more information we have, the more God will reveal to us. And as we keep working to understand who God is and how he works, well, we'll have all that to go off of, right? And before I forget, we have our academic sources and my prophetic sources. I mentioned the Doctrinal Exposition 1916. So there's some prophets delineating exactly figures are. Jeffrey R. Holland talks about polytheism in this conference talk, which I think is super cool. And then my two academic sources, Early Christian Creeds and Christian Creeds and Confessions, basically outlining where exactly the early Christian creeds came from. Talked about Gnosticism a little bit, which I thought was cool. But yeah, that's basically my presentation. So I hope you guys all like that. Thank you.